To take you to the eNCA money desk, and we've got Devin Murugan, who is our business editor. He's standing by. Devin, so this issue with the liquidation of Health Squared Medical has been a horror story for clients who were left without cover. Where are they with the story?
Yeah, no, it certainly hasn't been a good one at all. About 23,000 members of the embattled Health Squared medical scheme remain uncertain about their health cover. Health Squared sent shock waves through the medical schemes industry. You'll remember with its liquidation announcement 2 weeks ago, saying cover would end on the 31st of August. Well, this week, attempts to persuade other schemes to accept the members and waive that waiting period, usually applied to new clients. That attempt hit a brick wall. Mark Hayam, is the founder of and CEO of MediCheck. It's a group that pursues claim-related issues for clients. Mark, thanks very much indeed for talking to us. I mean, perhaps it really has been a nightmare even trying to get hold of some of the relevant people involved in this debacle. Where do we stand with things at the moment? You've been following this.
Thanks very much, Devin, and to your viewers. We're in a very difficult situation because the matter is currently sitting before the High Court in Johannesburg. And just prior to coming on air, I had made contact with the attorneys of record for Health Squared, and judgment had not yet been delivered by the presiding judge. So as we stand at this moment in time, in theory, Health Squared remains an active medical scheme and has not been liquidated. The liquidation has been opposed by the Council for Medical Schemes, as well as the Association of Nephrologists in South Africa, who have opposed the application for liquidation. So we stand very much in a limbo situation at the moment until judgment is delivered in the High Court, hopefully sometime today.
Yeah, and I understand that there was a critical case where a member with renal failure required dialysis up to 4 times a week. I mean, I'm not quite sure whether or not you were involved in that case, but it's the sort of thing that really brings out the horror of this. Am I right? Because where do you get the money to actually pursue that? It's critical in terms of life and death. What's your take on that situation?
Devin, absolutely, and I'm very, very much involved in that case. The patient went in again this morning for dialysis, and I have not heard anything from the treating facility to say that the patient had to pay for their procedure, and we hope that it went off well. And I think the important issue here is that irrespective of whether the medical scheme is being or has been liquidated, they have a liability to their members because they have collected August premiums for those people who pay in arrear, and they actually have collected premiums on the 1st of September for members who pay in advance. So we have another patient who's currently in an oncology unit in a hospital in Johannesburg, who has undergone stem cell replacement. And at midnight on the 31st of August, the hospital removed him as a medical aid patient and placed him as a private patient. Now, this in actual fact is, as far as I'm concerned, and it's my subjective opinion, that this could very well be illegal because all members of medical aids and of Health Squared at this moment in time are still active live members of the medical scheme. And the medical scheme is not insolvent, and that is the issue. They have a cash flow crisis and they have a solvency ratio crisis, but they are still an active medical scheme until the court rules one way or the other.
Yeah, and just to boil it down to where we stand again, once again, because I mean, really, that indeed has to be the scariest thing ever for people that just are left marginalized from this. The whole issue of migration to another medical aid scheme, I mean, that's still at the center of this entire debacle when it comes to people's position at the moment, isn't it? But there's no agreement yet on other schemes taking on them immediately. I mean, does that mean that we are simply talking with people, thousands of them, as we stand now, with no cover?
We sit literally with thousands of people with, and I once again quote, my opinion, until the judge rules one way or the other, those people are still active members of the scheme, and the scheme remains liable for the commitments that they have made to those members. Now, whether the scheme will actually honor those commitments, that is something that I'm not able to judge at this point in time. But speaking to and engaging on an ongoing basis with the attorney of record for Health Squared, we are still waiting for the final judgment, and that is what's holding up the whole process. The other issue that we have is what I believe to be a flouting of the Medical Schemes Act 131 of 1998, and I refer specifically to Section 29A, which refers to waiting periods and exclusions. And a medical scheme taking on members who are existing members who have not been without medical aid for a period of no longer than 90 days and have been on a registered medical scheme for 24 months. The imposition of waiting periods and exclusions on prescribed minimum benefits, I believe to in my opinion, and reading the Act, this could very well be an infringement of the rights of members in terms of the Act.
Okay, I'm going to have to leave it there. Mark, thanks very much indeed from MediCheck for giving us that update. Truly is a desperate situation as it is. We'll have indicators and the market updates, which is in a positive position, by the way, in our next bulletin, Masego.